Well, I was on November 15th of 2009. I was coming off of a deer stand, and the step was about 18 foot. The step came off. I fell all the way down. I hit, and I hit my face, my shoulder, and my hand, and I was like, man, opened my eyes, I wasn't seeing much. So I felt, a little bit. I said, well, I can still, wiggle my legs. I had broke my back. I guess I think I'll just lay here. And all of a sudden, I hear this voice, get up. Cleveland, you're killing me. Get off that ground. Next thing I know, I am all busted up. I am getting off the ground. And he says, well, you wouldn't have tore that step off. You went so fat and out of shape. You're killing me. And after 33 years, after high school, I still hear his voice. It doesn't matter. I tell you, if something's kind of bad happening to me and I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself, and in comes Gene Cox. I've always never gone away. And all you guys, you got a coach that takes you under your wing, you will always remember him, no matter what. I'm telling you. And he was a winner. I mean, he's the most competitive man I ever knew in my life. And just a tough guy, but I learned a lot from him. Another voice that was one that he was a really true mentor to me was Coach John. I loved him, and he was always a great inspiration to me. He's now Dr. John Easton. And I had a pretty unremarkable 2 years. I mean, I was just playing, and I was around greats like Kurt Unglov and Yancey Sutton. I mean, those guys were just tremendous players. Mel Pope. I mean, I was having trouble one day. I'll never forget. I wasn't the best run blocker in the beginning. And Mel just sat there and he looked at me, and they were all getting on to me, and I was getting beat. And Mel just looked at me and goes, you hit him first. You know the snap, hit him first. So, Mel, I always remember that comment. You're the man. Always had good examples out there. Kurt, you threw a ball near Kurt, he caught it. Great example of consistency. He went on and did just great things at Florida State. And I always looked up to him, and it's such an honor to be here. Anyway, my senior year, I got with Coach Easton, and I said, what do I really need to work on? He said, well, you need to work on your balance, your footwork. You need to, I really need for you to really count on me. If anybody's wanting to go over you, I want to be able to tell Coach Cox we go over you. So, and he said, do me one thing here. I really want you to work out hard, work out with weights, get that footwork right. I mean, I even went to the point where I even took a little dance while I was that summer. But he said, I want you to do this. He said, I want you to go watch the 1974 team. He really talked about that team a lot to me. He talked about, he said, what I want you to do, I want you to move me to right tackle that year. And he said, I want you to look at David Adams, and I want you to look at Philip Davis. And I said, that's all I want you to do. And he said, if you can play like those guys, you're going to be good. One thing I noticed about those two players, and what I wasn't doing, was that when they came off the ball, they didn't just block you, they punished you. I mean, it was unbelievable the kind of stuff I saw from David Adams. He wasn't that big, but I mean, he was huge. Coming off the ball so quick, punished him, and never gave up. When the game got even tougher, I think he played better. He seemed like a real scrappy guy, kind of a defensive attitude. We had Philip Davis. I looked at that guy, and he had the hardest headbutt I think I'd ever seen. I mean, if I played against him, I think I would have had a permanent headache. I'm telling you. So those guys were great inspiration. That whole team, I must have watched the 74 team. That was my favorite team of all. And I just want to commemorate them for that. Also, I did speak with Coach Sauls, and he said, you just need to take things more personally. You need to take your position more personally. And I really appreciated, him coming to my wedding. Thanks. I really appreciate that, Coach Sullivan. He's been a really good man, led by example, just like all the rest of the coaches, and just really was a fine inspiration to me. Thank you, Coach. Also, I just want to say I'm also very blessed to have a loving and supporting parents, especially a dad who inspired me to be a better man. I'm very lucky to have a great dad. And when I was coming in from those practices, he'd just say, you got to suck it up. You got to suck it up. Go back out there. I think I learned more from my being beat a lot of times than I did from doing well. And it just built a lot of character, and he never give up. And my dad was always say, he puts his pants on the same way. Just depends on how bad you want it. So Dad, he was the best man in my wedding. He is my hero. And I just want to end with a scripture. Coach Cox, he was my Sunday school teacher at East Hill Baptist as well. So a lot of times we'd come in after a game, and after he was my Sunday school teacher. He always was quoting scriptures. I'm just going to give you one of my favorites that I like and I use today. It is Philippians 4:13, and I was so glad that before games we prayed, because I needed all the help I could sometimes. A lot of times we were going against, and it was such, an inspiration for that. Again, I think it gave us the advantage a lot of times. But this is it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you very much.